student, the new topic of class 10, that is lifeline of national economy, class 10, subject geography, part 1, lifeline of the national economy. So here the development of a country depends upon the production of goods and services as well as their movement to their destination. Means the production or goods or services, they gets value when they reach to their destination. So transport plays an important role in the economy because of the transport raw material reach to the factory or industry or finished product reach to the consumers. Transport has helped in both production and distribution of goods. Apart from transport, mode of communication like telephone, internet makes the flawless flow of the information possible. Today the world has been converted into large village with the help of efficient and fast moving transport and development communication system. So here page number 81 of your textbook. Come to the page number 81 of your textbook, lifeline of the national economy, 81. So we use different material and services in our daily life. Some of these are available in immediate surrounding, while other are made by bringing things from other places. Goods and services do not move from supply locals to demand locals on their own. The movement of these goods and services from their supply locations to demand locations necessitates the needs for transport. Some people are engaged in the facilities. Some people, they are engaged in the facilities, their movements. These are known to be traders. Those who involve in these facilities, they are known as what? That is traders, who make the product come to the consumers by transportation. Thus the pace of development, pace means speed. Thus the pace of development of country depend upon the production of the goods and services. Production of goods and services as well as their movement over space. This movement or transportation, these are all very important. After reaching this to the final consumers or market, there is role of the transportation. Therefore, efficient means of transportation are prerequisites for the fast development. So country's fast development, for the fast development, there is requirement of the efficient means of transport. That is prerequisites for the fast development. So here movement of these goods and services can be over three important domains of our earth, that is land, water and air. Based on this, transport can also be classified into land. Transport can also be classified on land, water and air transport. Means there are three means of the transport, or they are classified into land, water and air transport. So here Under the land we studied following, that is roadways, road density, railways, pipeline, all these things. So here for a long time trade and transport were restricted to the limited space. With the development of science and technology, the area of influence of trade and transport that expanded far and wide. Today, the world has been converted into a large village with the help of efficient and fast moving transport. Because of having or availability of efficient and fast moving or mode of the transport, world became a large village. Easily we can reach from any part of the earth to, or from any country to another country we can reach fast. So transport has been able to achieve this with the help of equally developed communication system. Therefore, transport, communication, trade are complementary to each other. They are complementary to each other. What? That is transport, communication and trade. Today, India is linked with the rest of world despite its vast size, diversity and linguistic and socio-cultural plurality. Railways, airways, waterways, newspapers, radio, television, cinema and internet, etc. have been contributing to its socio-economic progress in many ways. So, the trades from the local to international level have added to the vitality of the economy. Vitality means assistance, sahayak, vitality to economy. It has enriched our life and added substantially to growing amenities and the facilities for the comforts of life. So, because of this transportation, it has enriched our life and added substantially that growing the amenities and the facilities for making our life comfort. In this chapter, we will see how modern means of transport and communication serve as the lines of our nation and its lines of our nation and its modern economy. It is thus evident that dense and efficient network of transport and communication is a prerequisite for local, national and global trade of today's. So here in this flow chart given means of transportation, then there are main three transportation: land, water and air. In land, transportation divided into three ways, that is roadways, railways and pipeline. If we talk about the water, they are inland and overseas, means in own country and from to other countries. And third is air transport. Again, these are divided into air transport divided into two classes, that is domestic airways means within a country and international airways. And domestic airways again divided into two categories, that is public undertaking. Public undertaking means belonging to the government or government undertaken and private airlines. So this is the classification about the means of transport. So there are main three means of transport: land, water and air. Then come to the first transportation means of transportation, that is roadways. In India has one of the largest road network in the world. Roadways have preceded railways. The growing importance of road transport in comparison with the rail transport is because construction cost of road is much lower. It provides door-to-door services and thus the cost of loading and unloading is much lower. It is used as feeder to other modes of transportation. Feeder means here supplies of the other mode of transportation. In India, roads are classified into 6 क्लासेस. इंडिया में रोड्स जो है वो 6 क्लासेस में डिवाइड हुए हैं according to their capacity. So first it is golden quadrilateral super highway. Second, national highway. Third one, that is state highway. And district roads. After that, district roads and other roads and border roads. Means this is the classification given of this road. Roads can also be classified on the basis of the type of material used for their construction, such as metal, means road with the concern with tar coated, and unmetal road. Metal road are all weather roads, whereas unmetal road go out of use in the rainy season. So here we are discussing about the roadways, that India has one of the largest road network in the world, aggregating about 2.3 million kilometers at present. India roadways have preceded railways. They still have an edge over the railway in view of the ease with which they can be built and maintained. The growing importance of road transport, vice versa rail transport, is rooted in following reasons. So in construction cost, just we have seen that construction cost of road is much lower than that of the railway lines. B. Roads can be irreverse, comparatively more dissected, and the undulating topography, then roads can be negotiate a higher gradients of the slopes as such as can transverse mountain such as the Himalayas. Then roads transport is economically in the transportation of few persons and relatively smaller amount of goods over short distances. It also provides door-to-door services, and thus cost of loading and unloading is much lower. And road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes. Feeder means support or supplies to the other modes of transport, such as they provide link between the railway station, air and seaport. Okay, so in India, roads are classified in the following 6 according to their classes, according to their capacity, just we have seen. So first one is Golden Quadrilateral Super Highway. So the government has launched a major road development. Government has launched a major road development project linking Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi by the 6-lane super highway. So the north-south corridors linking Srinagar, Jammu Kashmir and the Kanyakumari, that is Tamil Nadu, and east-west, that is corridor connecting Silchar, that is from the Assam, and the Porbandar, that is from the Gujarat, are the part of this project. Which project? Golden Quadrilateral Super Highway. The major objective of this super highway is to reduce the time and distance between the mega system of India. These highways projects are being implemented by the National Highway Authority of India, that is NHAI. Then come to the second type of highway, that is national highways. So here national highways link extremely part of the country. These are the preliminary road systems and are led and maintained by the Central Public Work Department CPW. A number of major national highways run in the north-south and east-west direction. So the historical Shershah Suri mark is called National Highway number 1 between the Delhi and Amritsar. Here figure 7.2 given Ahmedabad Vadodara Expressway. Figure it is given here. Then come to the second, that is state highway. Road linking a state capital with the different district headquarters are known as state highways. These roads are constructed and maintained by the State Public Work Department, that is PWD, in state and union territories. Then third one, districts road. So these roads connected to the district headquarters with the other places of the district. These roads are maintained by the ZP, Zilla Parishad. And then after that, other roads, rural roads, which link rural areas and village with the towns. They are classified under this category. These roads receive special impetus. Impetus means force under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. So under this scheme, special provisions are made to that every village in the country is linking or is linked to the major town in the country by an all the season motorable road, all the season motorable road, here it is important. So in super highways has been shown in India on the page number 83. Then come to the page number 84, that is broader roads. Apart from this broader roads organization, a government of India undertaking construct and maintain the roads in broadening areas of the country. This organization was established in 1960 for the development of roads of the strategic importance in north and northeastern border areas. These roads have improved accessibility in the areas of difficult terrain. Terrain is isolated, difficult terrain, and have helped in economic development of this area. So here given figure 7.3, that is hilly tracks, and in 7.4 given traffic of the northeastern border road, that is Arunachal Pradesh. Then the road can also be classified on the basis of type of material used for their construction. First, that is such as metal and unmetal roads. Metal roads may be made of the cement. Metal road that may be made of cement, concrete, or even bitumen of the coal. Bitumen, it is one of the category of coal, and therefore these are also weather road. Unmeted road go out of use in rainy season. Unmeted means जिसे हम कहते हैं कच्ची सड़क. And then come to the road density. Road density. The length of road per 100 square kilometer of area is known as density of road. Distribution of road is not uniform in the country. Density of all roads varies from only 10 kilometer in Jammu Kashmir to 375 kilometer in Kerala, with the national average of 75 kilometer. That is as per 1996-97. Road transportation in India faces number of problems, keeping in view the volume of traffic and passengers. The road network is inadequate. Road network is inadequate. About half of the road are unmeted. Unmeted means kachi sadak, and this limit their usage during the rainy season. The national highways are inadequate too. Moreover, the roadways are highly congested in the cities, and most of the bridges and the culverts are old and narrow. Culverts means to transport goods. The next is railways. Railways are the principal mode of transportation of the freight and passenger. Freight means what? Transport of goods. Railways also make it possible to conduct the multifarious activities like business, sightseeing, pilgrimage along with the transportation of goods over the longer distances. Apart from the important means of transport of Indian railways have been a great integrating force for the more than 150 years. Railways in India bind economic life of the country as well as accelerate the development of industries and agriculture. The Indian Railways have a network of 7.031 stations spread over the route of length of the 63.221 kilometer with the fleet of 7,817 locomotives, 5,321 passenger service vehicles, 9,904 other coach vehicles, and 228,170 wagons as on 31 March of 2004. Then the Indian Railways is the large public sector. In Indian Railways, they are now large public sector undertaking in the country. The first train steam off from Mumbai to Thane, that was in the year 1853, covering the distance that was 34 kilometer. Then come to the page number 85. Here given table 7.1, India's railway tracks. In first column given gauge in meter, then route, then running tracks, that is kilometer, and total track. They are given broad gauge 1.7676, route kilometer 46.807, and running track, that is in kilometer 66,754, and total, that is 88,547. Metro gauge, that is given here 1,000, and it route in kilometer 13,209, and running track 13,976, and total 16,489, and narrow gauge given here as per. So total, that is 63,221, then running track 83,859, and total track 1,08,486. So here the distribution pattern of the railway network in the country has been largely influenced by the physiographic, economic, and the administrative factors. The northern plains, with their vast level land, high population density, and rich agricultural resources, that provided the most favorable condition for their growth. However, large number of rivers requiring construction of bridges across their wide beds poses some obstacles in the hilly terrain of the peninsular region. Railway tracks are laid through low hills, gaps, or tunnels. The Himalayan mountains region too are unfavorable for the construction of railways. Railway lines due to high relief, then sparse population, sparse means बहुत ही कम population, and lack of economic opportunities. Lack of what? Economic opportunities. Likewise, it was difficult to lay railway lines on the sandy plain of the western Rajasthan, swamp of the Gujarat, and forested tracts of the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and Jharkhand. Here they found difficulties for laying the railway tracks. The contiguous stretch of the Sahyadri could be crossed over through the gap or the passes. In recent times, the development of the Konkan railways along with the west coast has facilitated the movement of passengers and goods in most of the important economic regions of the India. It has also faced a number of problems such as sinking of the track in some stretches and landslides. Then today the railway have become more important in our national economy than all other means of transport put together. However, rail transport suffer from the certain problems as well. Many passengers travel without ticket and damage the railway property has not yet stopped completely. People stop the trains, pulls the train unnecessarily, and this causes heavy damage to the railways. Think over it, how we can help our railway in running as per the scheduled time. So here pipeline. Pipeline transport the network is a new arrival of the transportation map of India. In the past, these were used to transport water to the cities and industries. Now, these are used for transporting crude oil, petroleum products, and the natural gas from the oil and natural gas field to the refineries, fertilizers, factories, and big thermal power plants. Pipeline, they are used for the transportation. Solid can also be transported through the pipeline when converted into the slurry. Slurry means semi-liquid form. They far inland location of the refineries like the Barauni, Mathura, Panipat, and gas-based fertilizer plants could be thought of only because of pipeline. Initial cost of laying pipelines is high, but subsequent running costs are minimal. It rules out transshipment losses or delay. There are three important networks of the pipeline transport in the country. First, from oil field in upper Assam to Kolhapur, that is Uttar Pradesh, via Guwahati, Barani, and the Allahabad. It has branches from the Baroni to Haldia via Rajband to Marigram, and the Guwahati to Siliguri. So this is the map on page number 86, that is railways which found in India or railway network. So from this Salaya in the Gujarat to the Jalandhar in the Punjab via Viramgram, Mathura, Delhi, and the Sonipat. It has branches to connect the Koyalty near the Vadodara, Gujarat, then Chakush, and the other places. It is about the pipeline. And next one is gas pipeline from the Hazira in Gujarat connect the Jagdishpur in Uttar Pradesh via the Vijaypur in Madhya Pradesh. It has branches to Kota in Rajasthan, then Shahjahanpur, then Babrala and other places in the Uttar Pradesh. So all this about the roadways roadways which we have seen here about the transportation, then railways, then density in density what we have seen, it means the length of road per 100 kilometer of area. Distribution of the road is not uniform in the country. Density of all the road varies from 10 kilometer to in Jammu Kashmir to 375 kilometer in Kerala, with the national average of 75 kilometer. Road density is national average 75 kilometer. We have seen railway lines, railways and pipeline. So here is the end of this part.